Good evening and welcome. This is your primetime news bulletin, come to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I am Shaheen Durrangpati.
A very good evening. I'm Mahina Bongzo. Here's a look at your headlines.
President calls on everyone, including multi-religious leaders, to assist in reinstating peace and harmony among communities. Curfew imposed in Kandy Administrative District till 4 p.m. tomorrow. Government announces strict legal action against those who incite violence. Access to social media platforms temporarily blocked.
President Maithripala Sirisena has stressed the importance of the intervention of religious leaders to build unity among all communities and avoid altercations. The President made this remark during the Kurunegala District Development Committee meeting.
The Cabinet of Ministers and the National Security Council convened both yesterday and the day before. Measures have been taken to put an end to the communal issue. The Sri Lanka Army, Navy, Air Force, Police and the Special Task Force have been deployed to those areas to ensure life returns to normalcy, maintain the peace and prevent conflicts. At the same time, we request the Mahasangha led by the Mahanayakas and the Islam, Hindu and Christian leaders to intervene in this matter and implement a program to maintain the peace in those areas. It is now clear to us, organized extremist elements are attempting to create an uneasy situation in the country. The ministers and the MPs in the northwestern province and the police must protect places of worship and work in peace to prevent any altercation between the Sinhala, Tamil and Muslim communities who are all brothers. I request you all to take the local level leadership and focus on the implementation of this program.
මේ වැඩ පිළිවෙල ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න කියලා කාර්මික ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා.
A 24-hour curfew was imposed in the Kandy district from 4 p.m. today. The Inspector General of Police said he imposed the curfew under the power vested with him as per the island-wide state of emergency announced by the President.
A communique bearing the signature of IGP Pujit Jayasundara states, people excluding public servants, police officers and members of the three armed forces are prohibited from remaining or passing through a public road, train station, park, recreation area or any other public area. The IGP stresses if anyone needs to remain or use such locations, one needs to obtain a written approval from the OIC of any police station, highlighting the requirement. The IGP says violating the curfew is an offence punishable as per the regulations of the state of emergency. Police media spokesperson SP Ruwan Gunasekara said leave for all police officers have been cancelled with immediate effect.
Chief of Defence Staff Admiral Ravindra Vijay Gunaratne attended the Cabinet media briefing today and commented on the prevailing situation across the country, including the Kandy district.
This is a large area. The army has been dispatched in all areas. Only 2 incidents were reported last night from the whole of Kandy. But our personnel responded to those incidents immediately and did what they have to do. The incidents which happened this morning, however, were quite different. When there is an attack, there is a response for that as well. It should be stated at this moment of time that we should focus on de-escalating the issue, not escalating it even more. To do this, both the Sinhala and Muslim communities should think about it.
අදිසි නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙලා තියෙන වෙලාවේ කොහොමද ඒ වගේ ප්‍රදේශයකට කණ්ඩායමක් විදිහට පොළු අරගෙන ගල් අරගෙන යන්නේ?
There was a curfew in place last night. There were just 2 incidents. It was lifted this morning. This was a police curfew which was imposed. But now the government has also imposed a curfew to contain the situation.
ඊ අග්‍රාමාත්‍යවරයාත් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේදී ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා මේ රට පොලිසිය බුද්ධි අංශවල ක්‍රියාත්මක වීම අඩු මට්ටමක පැවතුනා. ඒකයි මේ වගේ තත්ත්වයක් වර්ධනය වෙන්න හේතුව කියලා. දැන් ඒකට මොකද්ද දෙන පිළිතුර?
That is why a state of emergency was announced and the 3 armed forces were deployed.
මේ වෙනකොට ආරක්ෂක අංශවල මෙදිහත් වීම ගැන ආණ්ඩුවක් විදියට ඔබතුමාලා තෘප්තිමත්ද? ඒක ඉස්සරහට වැඩි දියුණු කරන්න කොයි විදියටද කටයුතු කරන්නේ?
The security forces are handling everything. They brought an end to the 3-decade-long war. Therefore, we have placed in the security forces.
මේක මෙදිහත් වීමක් කරන්න හදන කල්ලි කණ්ඩායම් වලට එරෙහිව කොහොමද ආරක්ෂක අංශ මෙදිහත් වෙන්නේ ඉස්සරහට ඔවුන් අත්අඩංගුවට ගන්න කොහොමද කටයුතු කරන්නේ මොකද රටක් බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා
We are receiving reports. When an incident takes place, those behind it are not revealed immediately. We will only be able to arrest those involved. Interrogation will reveal who steered them and who obtained the bus for them. They have now revealed these matters and various names are being exposed. An MP and an MP secretary have been mentioned. In addition, there are Pradeshi Sabha members. The name of a district organizer is mentioned as well. There is a monk attached to that party as well. Names are being revealed and investigations are ongoing. More arrests are made based on the statements given. There are reports on posts published on social media platforms and we are told who is steering them. One part works against the government and the other works to promote racism. All the names are being revealed.
Ministers Sarath Amunugama and Kabir Hashim also joined the cabinet media briefing this afternoon.
All citizens of this country have equal rights. The right to life and the right to safeguard property is enshrined not only in our constitution but also all over the world. The government is bound to uphold them and safeguard them. Irrespective of which side ethnic or racial unrest rises, we must condemn it in one voice. We have arrested the suspects involved in the initial incident as well as the ones involved in the instigations later on. There is no need to have any suspicion. We will enforce the law impartially on all these people.
The relationship between the Sinhalese and the Muslims can be traced to the times of the kings. It has only strengthened in recent times but not weakened. Some with petty vested interests are trying to damage that relationship. They are inflicting a huge damage today. We are getting information that they are directing these activities from their homes. It appears that this is the work of one group.
Who is responsible for the situation in the country now? Are there ulterior motives behind these incidents? And if so, what are they? Here are some excerpts of the opinions expressed by parliamentarians yesterday. We report, you decide.
Who is behind this game? I can say that it is a person who contested from the Colombo district, a person who wears the national attire. He is a tall person. He is the person behind this bloodshed. Understand who lit the first match to start the fire. The country burns. Who went to Ampara and lit the first match? Dilum Amunugama made a special request regarding how the police acted, asking that an unjust situation must not be created. This is known by high-ranking police officers. I am not going to explain this further. As a parliamentarian, he came forward to stop this situation. That request was rejected. It is understood now what MP Dilum Amunugama said is correct.
I would like to know the request that was made by MP Dilum Amunugama. Where is it? Do not let me tell you what happened.
If you do not understand Sinhalese, what needs to be done to you has been done. Highways was removed from you and the only thing that remains is candy.
The cat is out of the bag now. Who went into the police stations to obtain bail? Who went to talk the people out? You know who it was. The names are mentioned in police records. You can see it there. Who was shouting inside police stations to take the people out? Who went up and down in defenders? The people saw who it was. Do not try to hide the truth. This is shameful.
The Telecommunication Regulatory Commission or TRC says access to social media websites has been blocked temporarily. Access to social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Viber, YouTube and Instagram have been temporarily blocked.
The TRCSL has taken this measure to prevent the spread of false and misleading information on social media websites. Newsfirst will be bringing you all the latest information via our SMS alert service, as access to social media platforms have been temporarily blocked. For English SMS alerts for dialogue, type NFU and send to 678. For Mobitel, type REG NFU and send to 2299. For Airtel, type FACT NFU and send to 7544. For Etisalat, type ENEWS1 and send to 2233. For Hutch, type NFU and send to 7878.
Leader of the JVP, Anurukumara Dissanayake, paid reverence to the temple of the sacred tooth relic today.
Anurukumara Dissanayake worshipped the sacred tooth relic and thereafter called on the Mahanayaka of the Malwatu chapter of the Siam sect, the most venerable Tibbatuave Sri Sumangala Thero.
The racist ideology that is rising in the country must be defeated immediately. It is clear there is a political objective behind this incident. That is why they are inciting racism. We are aware groups that are in power use racism to keep their hold on to power, and the same is done by groups that were defeated. Today, we request the masses to work on bringing calm to this situation and not to add fuel to the fire.
Thereafter, Dissanayake called on the Anunayaka of the Malwatu chapter of the Siam sect, the most venerable Dimbul Kumbure Vimaladhamma Thero.
We are all human. Therefore, hate cannot be driven out by hate. You must have compassion for that. If there are revolts and bloodshed at a time like this, we cannot approve such acts.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa visited Anuradhapura this morning.
The former president paid homage to the Sri Mahabodhi and thereafter called on the Atamasthanaadhipati Pallegama Srinivasa Thera.
Good evening, Sri Lanka. For 30 years, Sri Lanka's experienced and have faced the consequences of Black July 1983. How much blood has spilled in those 30 years? The loss of the lives of thousands of people. The time is right to look back at the incidents of Black July 1983 with much thought and conscience. Are we going to allow another Black July resurface in what we called our motherland? Details came to light later on that certain politicians looked on and were as mere spectators as events leading to Black July were unfolding right before their very eyes. We also witnessed how certain politicians and rulers allowed these incidents to happen, and it was the generations who had to pay the price for their inaction for 3 decades. We witnessed it. We experienced it. Should we allow the dark hours, days and years of history repeat itself in this country? A state of emergency has been imposed in the country as we speak, and the Kandy Administrative District is under curfew. We the people salute the immediate action taken by this government to ensure that law and order prevails and that executive orders are also issued and that the people follow them. We should also extend our gratitude to the police and the tri-forces who have been following the executive orders and are working to ensure the safety of the general public and that peace is maintained in the country. But the question is, what are the people expecting now? We as a people are expecting that the situation in our country returns to normalcy and peace prevails. But it is a responsibility of all the sectors to work as one and ensure that peace, law and order prevails. Is this not what the people of this country want? All of us are aware of the decisions and actions that we should follow when a state of emergency or a curfew situation is in place. In order to avoid a repetition of the events that transpired during Black July 1983, we should come together and not remain as spectators. Do what it takes and ensure that the instigators of these violent actions are brought before the law. This is what the people want. Having said this, even the international community have expressed concern over the incidents that have transpired over the past 2 days.
The United Nations in Sri Lanka is concerned about the recent incidents of communal violence and condemns these acts in the strongest possible terms. The United Nations urges authorities to take immediate action against perpetrators and to ensure that appropriate measures are swiftly taken to restore normalcy in affected areas. The United Nations also urges authorities and all citizens to ensure that the rule of law is upheld, human rights are protected, and security and safety is ensured for all. The US statement said, "Rule of law, human rights and equality are essential for peaceful coexistence. It is important that the government of Sri Lanka act quickly against perpetrators of sectarian violence, protect religious minorities and their places of worship, and conclude the state of emergency swiftly, while protecting human rights and basic freedoms for all."
Well, you're watching News First. Stay with us. We are crossing over a short commercial break. More news coming to you on the other side of this break.
In more local news, the visiting special envoy of the Anti-Personnel Mine Ban Convention, Prince Mired Rad Zaid Al Hussein, delivered a lecture at the Lakshman Kadirgama Institute of International Relations and Strategic Studies in Colombo yesterday.
The Special Envoy's lecture was on the Ottawa Convention on Anti-Personnel Landmines, Asia's Opportunities and Challenges. Prince Mired Rad Zaid Al Hussein is in Sri Lanka in the wake of it becoming the 163rd state party to the Anti-Personnel Mine Ban Convention in December 2017. And in his lecture, the Special Envoy praised the island nation for acceding to the convention, typically referred to as the Ottawa Convention or Mine Ban Treaty.
To date, 164 states parties have made the decision to never, under any circumstances, use, stockpile, produce, transfer anti-personnel mines, and to destroy these weapons and to assist the victims of this unjust instrument of war. The convention that Sri Lanka has joined is truly historic. Another important challenge that remains is that 33 states have not yet joined. A significant number of those are here in Asia. And it is here that Sri Lanka could help make a difference. With its accession, Sri Lanka has come to occupy its place among states parties and could help drive international efforts to foster this norm in the region. While Sri Lanka is not the sole state in South Asia to have acceded to the convention, it stands proudly amongst the few. There is something very noble about standing with the few. It also puts Sri Lanka in a position of great responsibility. We count on Sri Lanka on doing its part in promoting this noble instrument in the region, and want you to know that we are all in the same boat together and we are all paddling in the same direction.
A severed human head was discovered by police at a location down Bandaranaike Mawatha in Halsdorf.
The discovery was made after the Kesselwatta police was tipped this morning. Investigations are underway over the incident, and police said the severed head was found inside a garbage bag. The on-site magisterial inquiry was carried out by Colombo Chief Magistrate Lal Ranasinghe. Police suspect the discovery may be linked to a homicide that took place at the very same area on the 16th of February this year. Investigations have revealed the severed head belonged to a person known as Panditake Shanta Kumara, alias Kosmalli, from the Mulleriyawa police jurisdiction area. Police said this is a result of a conflict between two organized criminal gangs. The case against former Minister Basil Rajapaksa and two others were called before the Mathura Magistrates Court today.
The Police Financial Crimes Investigations Division filed the case against former Minister Basil Rajapaksa and other defendants due to their failure to divulge information on a land in Eliakanda area in Mathura. Since the second defendant in the case, Punya Galapathy, is overseas and hadn't received the notice, the magistrate ordered that the notice be couriered to her again. On a request from the lawyers representing the defendants, the magistrate suspended the bail condition issued to the third defendant, Basil Rajapaksa, to appear before the Police Financial Crimes Investigations Division. The court also gave permission for the fourth defendant in the case, Udita Jayakuri, to go overseas. The case was postponed for August 29th. The income and asset case filed against parliamentarian Mahindananda Alutgamage was called before the Colombo High Court today. The case pertains to the alleged purchasing of a property worth 27 million rupees at Kinsey Road in Baralla through illegal or acquired funds. The case was filed by the Commission to investigate bribery or corruption. The lawyers requested that the case be heard on another day. Accordingly, the hearing was postponed for the 22nd of this month.
A program was launched today in partnership with the Sri Lanka Air Force to mark their 67th anniversary to clean up the Adams Peak, a religious site that has been subject to reverence by people both at home and abroad. This was under the sponsorship of the Newsfirst Gammatha initiative.
The Gammatha team is ready here to start up the cleanup operation together with the assistance of the Sri Lanka Air Force. Now this will be held in line with the 67th anniversary of the Sri Lanka Air Force. Today's operation will take place under the auspices of Air Commodore Varuna Gunawardena, and as you can see, we have a large number of officials from the Sri Lanka Air Force joining us today to complete this task successfully.
The Sripada Sthanaya, a location that is subject to veneration due to the presence of the footprint of Buddha, is known by many names, including Samanalakanda and Sripatula among others. The right to venerate the Sripadaya is not limited to any particular race, religion, caste or gender and is open to all. This is the period often known as the Sripada season, the time during which the Sripadaya is open to devotees. The Uduappoya day signifies the start of the Sri Karuna period and draws attention of thousands who flock here from all over the country. But some people destroy the wonderfully diverse environment around this holy site by dumping garbage everywhere. Citing this, the Newsfirst Gammatha initiative joined hands with the Air Force to clean up the Sripada Sthanaya. The team this morning engaged in religious activities at the Mausa Kale Saman Devalaya and then proceeded to the Sripada Sthanaya. The team began their task from the Sama Chaitya in Nallatanni on the Samanala mountain. The team is moving forward with the objective of repairing the damaged staircases as well.
I have with me Air Commodore Varuna Gunawardena, who is leading the Sri Lanka Air Force team today. So what do you think about this initiative where Sri Lanka Air Force has joined hands with Gammatha in cleaning up these premises today?
Of course, we have organized a series of events to mark the 67th anniversary of the Air Force. So initially we started with the Air Force bicycle race, which is supported by the serious media network as usual. So then we had the air tattoo at Ampara Air Base, and then the third event was the island-wide art competition. So this is the last major event of this series, and this cleanup march. This was organized under the initiative of the Air Force Commander Air Marshal Kapila Jayampati, who has observed from the social media and other various sources of media that the plastic and the polythene has become a major environmental issue in this area, which is one of the main religious landmarks of the country.
A joint media briefing took place this evening to elaborate on the present situation in the country. This briefing took place at the Department of Government Information.
ජනාධිපතිතුමා ප්‍රතිපත්තිමය තීරණයක් ගත්තා ශ්‍රී ලංකාව තුළ කෙටි කාලයකට හදිසි අවස්ථාවක් ප්‍රකාශයට පත් කිරීම අවශ්‍යයි.
The President made a policy decision to announce a state of emergency in the country for a short period. Special criminal offences have been identified under the emergency regulations. Most of these offences are considered as criminal offences under the normal law. For example, committing murder, causing injury, inciting fear, intimidation, committing sexual harassment, causing damage to public and private property, as well as committing acts causing a devalue to property are considered as criminal offences. In addition, engaging in acts that create disharmony among all ethnic and religious communities living in the country have been termed as criminal offences under the emergency regulations. The emergency regulations have introduced punishments for these offences which are more severe than the punishments given under the normal law. In addition to the police, the members of the three armed forces have been vested with the power to arrest those who commit these crimes, attempt to commit these crimes, conspire to commit these crimes and influence to commit these crimes. However, even at a time of a curfew, citizens might have to undertake a very essential journey. In order to make provision for that, the OICs of police stations have been given the power to issue a permit for a civilian to travel in a main road or a by road. The police and the state intelligence units that investigated these offences have reported backciting false information is being spread on social media platforms. Therefore, as per the emergency regulations, public servants have been given the power to take measures to prevent the spread of material that are false and cause harm.
ඊඩාකාරී හිංසනයන් ගෙන දෙන ආකාරයේ මාධ්‍ය අනිවිත ප්‍රචාරණය වීම නැවැත්වීමට අවශ්‍ය පියවර ගන්න.
Both the United States and Russia have announced their nuclear weapons posture, and both countries are entering a new age of war, the age of hypersonic weapons. Well, stay tuned. Crosstalk is up next with RT's Peter Level, where the growing race for arms is discussed.
And with that, we conclude tonight's edition of Primetime News. I'm Mahina Bongzo.
And I'm Shahin Jurampati. Good night and take care.